Okay, this is going to be take 2 of this video because once again I had some paperwork on the workbench that had confidential information on it that got caught on camera, so I'm going to have to redo this whole video. Anyway, this is the finishing of the first ceiling bay. Part 2 of the major wood going up on my ceiling, and as you can see the first bay is now done. I've got this last little gap filled in. This turned into a nightmare, and also it proved that this ceiling is way off because this end, that is about 2 3/4 inches almost from the joint on the side of the trim piece to the faceboard on the beam. By the way, the faceboards on the beam are done now too on this one beam. But by the time I get down to here, the gap was basically 1 inch and just shy of 1.25 inches. So I had a 1 inch wide rip strip for this end, and then it gradually got bigger as it went down. As you can see, it's uneven. The reason that's okay is because this is going to get a 1x2 or 1x3, probably 1x2, just trim strip, flat trim strip to blend it in. Same thing here at the wall. I'm just going to pan around here, and then along the back beam. And now speaking of the beams and these beam caps, the one that I finished here, they're okay, they're not perfect. There's a couple areas that, like right there, that's going to need some wood filler. So ultimately, I'm going to do a test with wood filler, see how it looks when it's either stained or clear coated, see if it sticks out like a sore thumb or not. If it does, I'm inclined to paint these columns. Right here, this upright column, although it's that wood, it's got some really cool knots in it. Hard to see with all the junk. These columns are probably going to end up, these columns and this beam are probably going to end up being the purple dragon color. By the way, this is Glidden paint. Purple dragon is on the wall. Thin ice is the trim, and on the side wall here. That clamp is holding the end of that board up. It was glued and nailed because it was bowed. So got that clamp holding that up until tomorrow to kind of keep that piece together. Anyway, so this first beam cap is done. It's going together. I would like to hear comments on the painting of these beams and the beam support and the beam cover here. I think it would look pretty cool with the purple. Leave the ceiling natural and just let it have a contrast. And then the wall down here, that's my friend's little baby girl in that picture you saw. This wood down here, the reclaimed, I'm thinking of either leaving it just the way it is, or I've got scraps of it. I'm going to try whitewashing it with the thin ice, just to, you know, literally thin that paint down to almost watery consistency and use it like almost a rub-on stain and see what it looks like. If it looks good, I'll end up doing this recovered wall in that. All my clothes and junk everywhere. So this is what happened. Basically, I had to take these planks, these tongue and groove planks. Here's an intact one. And the tongue side that you see here by my toe, had to rip that to the desired width to fill in that gap. I'll face that same problem when I finish this second bay, and then of course the third bay. But here's the comparison on the beams. Let's step back for that, give you a shot of that real quick. Here's before the beam cover is up, and back here is after the beam cover is up. A lot better. And unfortunately, lovely Home Depot and their consistent lumber, I didn't even notice this until I put it up, but the edge on that 1x12 is so much darker than the rest of it. It's totally destroying the look. And what's worse is this is what you see when you walk in the door, so it's like really standing out. Anyway, so that's going to go up. The wire you see hanging from the ceiling is for surround sound speakers. I pre-wired this room for surround sound. Now the other feature that I didn't mention in the last video, or maybe I did, from here over to here, in all 3 bays, there's going to be a 1x6 flat cap. It'll do two things. Number one, there's an elevation change in the ceiling right here that I tried to shim and hide the best I could. But the elevation change and the fact that the 2 different sides of the house are settling differently has made these gaps get bigger over time. So by covering that with a cap, it'll help hide that error and help hide that flaw from the ceiling. Those caps will stay natural, and whatever color or coating the regular ceiling gets, that cap will get. But anyway, but I'm thinking the columns should be painted. What do you guys think? I'd love to hear your opinions in the comments. It's going to be a while before I get to painting them, of course, because I finish the other beam cover before I do any painting of that stuff. Got to finish the ceiling, truthfully. Anyway, so that's about it. I'm going long on this video. For my AM loving friends, that's 1400 in the background, daytime reception. It's about 4 o'clock, 4:15 here locally. Anyway, that's it for this video. We'll catch you on the next video, and hope you guys have a good week.